What's good, everybody? It's your boy Saki Miyazaki, and I just finished Netflix's Devil May Cry anime season 1, and I kind of just wanted to come up here and give my thoughts and opinions on it, right? Like, fresh in my mind, no script, no PowerPoints, no nothing. I kind of just want to come up here, roll the camera, and just tell the people what I think, because I'm seeing a lot of controversy right now about this anime, right? There's a lot of opinions. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it the worst thing that God has ever witnessed that humans have ever made? I don't know. I don't think so. So that's kind of why I just kind of wanted to come up here as a longtime Devil May Cry series fan and just give my opinion, right? So before I even talk about the anime, I kind of just want to talk about my backstory with the series, right? I was first introduced to the Devil May Cry series, funny enough, through Devil May Cry 3 AMVs. So for those who don't know or are too young to know what those are animated music videos, which were a huge thing back in 2000s YouTube, where you would take an anime or a video game and clip a video music to it. So one of my favorite ones for Devil May Cry 3, I think it was like a Green Day one, right? It was like a Devil May Cry 3 AMV to like Green Day's Holiday. I loved it. Oh my god, I saw that. I was like, what is this game? Like, I had no prior knowledge of what Devil May Cry 3 before that time. I think this might have been 2007. I might have been like 4th grade, so I might have been like 8 or 9 years old. I saw that, and I was like, wow, what is this? I need this. So I went to my mom, and around that time, there was a Devil May Cry box collection for the PS2 that just featured Devil May Cry 1, 2, and Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. And I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I need it. So I think like maybe a week later we went to GameStop and they actually had it. I was like, yes! Yes! Greatest one in the world, by the way. So that day I went home. I put Devil May Cry 1 in my PS2. And I fell in love. I was in love. I was like, this is what gaming is all about. I loved everything about it. I loved Dante. I loved the lore. I loved the environment. I thought Dante was the coolest mother bleeper in the whole planet, bro. I was like, nothing's cooler than this. Nothing will ever be cooler than Devil May Cry Dante, man. This is the pinnacle of cool. Spoiler alert, I'm 28 years old now. 27. Let me not call myself 28. Yeah, I'm not out the pasture quite yet. I'm 27 years old, and I still think Dante and Virgil are the coolest characters ever in fiction. I'm sorry. You're not. There is nothing cooler than Dante and Virgil other than this dude on my t-shirt right now. That's just my opinion. So I played Devil May Cry 1, beat it one day. That was beautiful. Next day, I started Devil May Cry 2. That same day, I started Devil May Cry 3. I did not finish 2. That game was ass. But we don't talk about Devil May Cry 2. That was a nasty illusion. It was all a dream. It was an illusion. It was a bad mushroom trip, bro. But Devil May Cry 3, oh my god. Still to this day, probably top 5 favorite games of all time. Like, everything about that game, in my opinion, is just perfect, right? The characters, the lore, the environment, the weapons, the dialogue, the action, the cutscenes, the music. Oh my god, just Devil May Cry 3 is gaming peak. That is what gaming is all about. If you've never played Devil May Cry 3 a day in your life, and you're here just because you watched the anime, you want someone else's opinion on it, please do yourself a service and play Devil May Cry 3. 1 and 3. Please play those 2 games, right? That's kind of like my backstory with the game. Like, I've been in love with the series ever since. So I played Devil May Cry 4. I played DMC Devil May Cry. I've played Devil May Cry 5. If Dante's and Virgil's in it, I most likely played it, right? I say that to say this as a fan, because I feel like you kind of want a fan's perspective on the anime, right? Which I feel like which is the main controversy is coming from, right? That's what a lot of people are saying, is that Dante wouldn't do this, Dante wouldn't say that, Lady wouldn't do this, Lady wouldn't say that. So before I get into that, I kind of just want to let's talk about the pros of the anime first, right? Let's talk about what I like about the anime first. What I like first, the animation. I think the animation is great. Characters are well designed, in my opinion. There's no wacky ninja kamui animation drop after like episode 2. No, like it's consistent from episode 1 to 8. The action is great. The visuals are just simply good. Like, there's no funky like moments where it's just like, ugh, like what's happening over there? Like, ugh. Like, there's some CGI models, but I don't have a problem with like CGI models in the anime. That doesn't really bother me. Like, that's sometimes it's a necessity. It's easier to animate. I don't think the action scenes are like perfect. I don't think they're like mind blowing. But as far as doing what they need to do and some of them being like really good, I think they reached that, right? I think Castlevania has better anime. There's a reason why I mentioned Castlevania, because they have the same showrunner, which I'm gonna talk about more later, right? But I think Castlevania looks better, but Devil May Cry looks good, right? It's not a bad looking anime. So if you want something that just has action, definitely should watch it there. I think the voice acting is amazing. I think Dante sounds amazing. I think Lady sounds amazing. I think the Vice President sounds amazing. Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. You know, Batman. Right, he did an amazing job. Phenomenal voice acting work. Like there's not a single bad voice actor in there except for one character. I thought the blonde black guy, I didn't care for his voice acting. I don't know if it's the voice acting or just the voice direction for that character. I didn't really care for that character. I know I'm supposed to be talking about pros, but I just had to mention it while I'm thinking about it. Overall, I think the writing was good, right? I know people have disagree on that, but I think overall the story was good. For an 8-episode season, for an anime that doesn't have a lot of lore to really go off of. I know people are like, oh, Devil May Cry has a lot of lore. Let's really talk about that in a second, right? But the story for Devil May Cry games are very bare bone. Like that, and that's not even a jab. I love these games, like I love breathing and I love drinking water. But these games don't have a lot of story to go based off. And if you play them, they're kind of repetitive in their actual story beats, right? There's a Dante, there's a Virgil, there's a woman, there's maybe a fourth character. Dante beats Virgil's ass. That is the story of Dante. The story of Devil May Cry is Dante beating Virgil's ass over and over again. That is the story of Devil May Cry. And it's really hard to make an anime based off that one premise. I know people are like, oh, there's more to the story of Devil May Cry than Dante's beating Virgil's ass. There is, but there also isn't. Like I might go into it later. And this, like I said, this isn't a jab, right? Because Devil May Cry is an action game. It doesn't need these big, expansive, like Elden Ring lore drops at every moment. No, I love Devil May Cry for what it is. And honestly, I think what it does extremely well. Like, I think Devil May Cry 3's story is perfect. Absolutely God sent perfect for the type of game it is. But if we're talking about turning that into an anime, that would be impossible. That would be absolutely impossible to just take Devil May Cry 3's story and go one for one and turn into an 8-episode anime that people would actually care about and be like, oh yes, that was great story. No, it doesn't work the same. So you have to write for the medium you're in, right? It's an animated series, so you have to write it like it is an animated series and not a video game with 20 levels, right? So I think it was written well. I think it did a good job, right? So yeah, action, animation, character design's great, voice acting, writing, overall story, good. Let's talk about the cons, right? I think my biggest cons is kind of that it's kind of hard to say, right? Because I said I like the writing, but my biggest cons do have to do with the writing, right? I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. Because I don't hate the way they've written certain characters, right? For example, you had Dante making certain jokes. And you had people saying, oh, Dante wouldn't make that joke. Like, for example, the first joke you hear Dante make is he saves the woman and the baby. And he was just like, he has the gun out. It was just like, no, I'm drawing a blank. This usually doesn't happen. I usually have something more clever to say. Then he like retells a different joke. People are like, Dante wouldn't say that. I don't know why y'all think Dante wouldn't say that. I definitely don't know why people don't think Dante would tell a joke like that. Whether or not you like the joke is completely different, right? Whether or not it made you laugh and chuckle, ha ha ha, that's a completely separate matter. But would Dante tell a joke like that? I think Dante would tell a joke like that. And it all comes down to the conversation, like I said before, it comes down to the discussion, would Dante say that? Would Dante do that? And Dante from this anime is based off of Devil May Cry 3 Dante, because it's clearly a younger Dante, which is, Devil May Cry 3 Dante, and you have Lady, so obviously it's Devil May Cry 3. So, you're basing it off of Devil May Cry 3. And the problem with basing it off of that, well, it's not an issue, but the problem of judging it based on what Dante would say in Devil May Cry 3 is that Dante only talks to like a total of 4 characters, not including bosses, in Devil May Cry 3. Like, there's only 4 or 5 characters in that game that are humans. That are like not boss fights. You have Lady, you have Virgil, you have Arkham, you have the Clown. No one else. There is no one else for human interaction for Dante to talk to in that game. So, of course, the anime has to explore more interactions that Dante would engage in, right? Because there's no basis for a young Dante to have that. You can say like the novels, which I've never read the novels, so I can't really say. There's like novels, there's like mangas. I've never engaged in that, right? But I'm talking strictly from a video game perspective. Would Devil May Cry 3 Dante say that? Yeah, I think he would. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Dante from Devil May Cry 3 would make that corny joke while saving a woman in the streets. But like I said, if you don't like the joke, that's the one thing. So he's constantly telling these jokes. He's constantly speaking in a referential manner. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, right? Like, for example, I know y'all going to crucify me for this. There is one joke in the series. There is spoilers in this review, by the way. So if you are trying to avoid spoilers on this anime, please, watch the anime first and come back, or, step away or anything like that. But I just want to let you know that I will be spoiling it, right? There's a joke in about episode 2 or 3 where, the government sends like a paramilitary troopers and like some mercenaries to go attack Dante, right, in his home. One of the troopers gets the upper hand and shoots him in the chest with a shotgun and blows a hole in his stomach. And, the dude thinks, oh, yeah, I got him. And then the wound heals because he's Dante. And the dude's looking like, ooh, and Dante's like, oh, yeah, I heal super fast. Like a superhero. No, but I'm not a superhero. I wouldn't call myself a superhero. But your mom would. And I laughed at the joke. I'm sorry. I thought the joke was funny. It got a smile out of me. I could understand why you wouldn't like the joke. You could probably be like, that's so corny. That's the Marvel writing of it all. And I agree in some regards. It is corny. It is kind of like, 2025 Marvel writing type of situation. But I laughed. I'm sorry. I like to have fun. Which is why I think I'm a different type of person, right? Where I can think critically and say, that joke is corny. But I'm also a person that likes to have fun. Not I'm just always shutting my brain off and can't enjoy something type fun. Because if you're one of those people that don't enjoy fun, you wouldn't enjoy Devil May Cry to begin with, in my opinion. If you're not someone that can be like, haha, that's wacky, that's fun, you would not enjoy the series at all. You would not enjoy Devil May Cry 3, you would enjoy Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would not enjoy anything about it, right? You'd be one of those people that looked at Devil May Cry 5 and see Dante, Michael Jackson moonwalking and say, this is the dumbest thing ever. I hate games. This is that dumb shit. What was Capcom thinking? Of course, me having fun, being a fun, wacky guy, I thought that was amazing. I thought Capcom, take a bow, do it again. Michael Jackson, Dante. So it all really comes down to your opinion on, are you having fun? Do you like fun, right? Do you think this is something Dante would say? And once again, I don't really think anything Dante said in the series is something that Dante from Devil May Cry 3 wouldn't say. But I will say there isn't some things I didn't enjoy, right? I didn't enjoy all the heavy-handed dialogue, right? He does call himself a superhero too many times, right? I don't like how often he's just like I don't like the subplot of him being like, I'm not Sparta's son, that's not me, I'm not a half demon, that's like I didn't really care for that, right? You could have him be like, nah, I'm a human type beat, but I feel like the amount of angst it was giving him, I just didn't understand why it was giving him angst. Because like he does kill demons for a living, but I don't recall. This is where it's just like, as a fan of the series, I don't ever recall Devil May Cry 3 or 1 where Dante was just like, being a demon gives me angst about it, right? Like, I'm conflicted. I wouldn't be able to kill demons if I was a half demon myself, or if Sparta was my dad. Well, I remember in Devil May Cry 3 and 1, Dante just didn't care about it. That was like Virgil's thing. Virgil was like, Dante, you should be more proud to be a demon. You should be more proud that we're the son of the great, knight Spartan. Dante is like, whatever. So I didn't really care that he was like all angsty about like, oh, I'm the son of Sparta. No, I don't want to do it. No, I don't believe you. I thought that was kind of silly, right? And there was like 2 or 3 episodes based on that silliness, which I was just like, this is kind of dragging a bit. I felt like the middle section of the anime kind of dragged. Like once we got on the truck, like there's a part where he like gets kidnapped. Once he gets kidnapped and like he's falling out the plane, those 3 episodes are kind of like, I don't care. Like it's boring. I feel like just because if during those parts, those also focus a lot on Lady, who I'll discuss in a second. But like once he gets kidnapped and he's like drugged up and he's like trying to spend entire episodes trying to get himself out of handcuffs, and he gets himself out of handcuffs, then he gets captured again. He's on the plane. They're trying to get him to go Devil Trigger. He's going Devil Trigger. He's getting his ass beat. Yada yada. He gotta save people out the plane. I just felt like it was a lot of padding, in my opinion. A lot of padding, and whatever he was doing during that time was complaining about whether he was a half demon or not. And I feel like Enzo, who is he's not a new character in the series. He might be a newer character in the as far as like the video game. I don't think he ever makes an appearance in the video game per se. But I do know enough about the extra story content of Devil May Cry where I know about Enzo. I know he's like a broker that's giving Dante many jobs. I know he also might be a reference to Bayonetta Enzo. I think somewhere they say he might be the same character. You gotta ask Kamiya about that. Kamaya, creator of Devil May Cry, about that, whether they're not the same character. But that's neither here or there. But you had Enzo next to Dante on the plane, like, yeah, you're the son of Sparta. Dante's gonna do this. Dante's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. I was just like, I didn't care for Enzo. I thought Enzo should have shut the fuck up a little bit. Like, he was funny sometimes. I like the parts where he was kind of just like, hey, Dante, I betrayed you, but we still good, right? We still homies. I thought that was funny. I like that part of the relationship. But the whole part where, like, you got Enzo just in the background nagging about, just being Dante's, like, sidekick, being the voice in his ear, I didn't really care for that. I thought that was kind of corny. Because it wasn't needed. It stacked on a problem I already had about Dante being angsty about being the son of Sparta. Whereas, I don't know if that should have been a plot point to begin with, that he was really trying to fight demons about being a half demon. I didn't really care for that. So a lot of my problems just kind of had to do with things like that. Like I said, him kept referring to himself as a superhero. Like, oh, I'm not a superhero. He does that a lot. Like the first time it was fine in my opinion. I know y'all, like I said, most people don't like it the first time. But after that, I was just like, okay, it's too much. It's too much like little things like that in that dialogue department. Like if you would have kept, it's almost like the series had too much dialogue, right? Like, I feel like there are some scenes where if you just edit characters' mouth closed, like, you take away the dialogue, it would be a lot better if you just let the action kind of do itself, because the anime looks good. Like, there are things happening on screen that look good. If you go for a more simplistic approach as far as what's happening on screen, respecting the audience to pay attention, respecting the audience to know what's happening, and letting the ambiance and the mood of the situation carry what's happening, I feel like you would have been better off than letting Dante or Lady or Enzo just yap through it all. So yeah, that's one of my complaints. And then I do have complaints about Lady. So here's the thing about Lady. Because in order to talk about Lady in the anime, you guys talk about Lady in the video game. And Lady in the video game in Devil May Cry 3, she hated devils. She hated demons. She like, they're all pieces of shit, scumbags, dirt under my boot. Like, I'm going to go kill my father. That was her whole motivation. I hate demons. I hate my father. I'm going to go kill both while I go up this tower. And then at the end of the game, she was like, not all demons are bad. I love Dante. Dante's the homie now. Not all, some devils may cry. Devils may cry. In the anime, she's like super. They turn into a. Okay, let's slow down. In the game, she has no military connection. She's simply going up there by herself because that's what the medium requires. Remember, I talked about you got to write for the medium you're in. So her being a solo character in Devil May Cry 3, it worked. And I don't particularly think her being this military soldier in Devil May Cry, the anime, doesn't work. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that backstory of how they set that up, where, you know, her father becoming obsessed with demons and killing the mother, and she goes and joins Darkcom. I don't think there's anything problem with that. I think the way she was written dialogue-wise was irritating. Like, I don't know if I noticed before people pointed it out, but she did curse a lot, right? Whereas Lady in Devil May Cry 3 is kind of broody, right? Dante's the energetic one. He's the one telling jokes. He's the one that's kind of like the comic relief. Whereas Lady was like the straight shooter. She was on a mission. She had like one focus. She was, I'm going to kill my dad. I'm going to kill demons. That's all I care about. Don't bother me. I don't have time for jokes. In the anime, she is constantly telling a joke. Like, obviously in a more sarcastic way, you know, calling him, you know, Roger fucking Rabbit or whatever. But she was constantly just telling jokes. Like, she was definitely getting her sitcom off. And it's just like, some of it was funny. But if you would have cut it down like 25%, it would have been perfect. Like, she was cursing every other sentence. And you, like, once it's pointed out to you, can't. It's hard to deny it. It's hard to not notice that she is like cursing like a sailor. And I don't have a problem with cursing in anime. I don't have a problem with people cursing, right? I'm an adult. People are gonna curse. But it felt like it almost was excessive, where people start comparing like the writing to like a Vizzy Pop cartoon, like it was Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. It did kind of feel like that way in a bit. I can't lie. And I kind of wish it wasn't written that way, where it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of hard, because it's not one scene you can really pin down. It's kind of like the crux of her character is that she's just swearing every like, and it sounds like a minute complaint, right? It sounds like, wow, you're just really bitching because she swore a little. But when you watch the anime and you're hearing it, it's like, wow, she is really just telling jokes and swearing every scene. Whereas I feel like if you had Lady talk less, she would have been taken way more serious, right? Not so little that she doesn't have a personality, or she's just like, I am Lady, military woman, I'm here to do my duties. No, I feel like you could have kept all her same emotional conflicts with, you know, devils aren't that bad, right? You know, while still feeling that she needs to kill devils because, you know, that's what she's been trained to do. That's her task, right? You can still have that conflict while reining in those Vizzy Pop elements of, I'm going to swear, I'm going to just tell jokes, I'm going to just do this, that, the third, right? But I didn't hate Lady's character, right? I love Lady as a character in the games. I love her still in the anime, right? She's still a good character, but I just thought a lot of what she was doing, the extra shit, could have been reined in a bit. So I didn't care for some of the Dante stuff. I didn't care for Enzo. I didn't care for some of the Lady stuff. And another thing is that Lady takes up a lot of the screen time in this anime. I swear to God, she might be on screen way more than Dante. If someone was to calculate how much screen time Dante had compared to Lady, it might be night and day. And I get it, because Dante is the overpowered character, so you can't have him be on screen at all times, or else the story wouldn't move. You know, that's something that One Punch Man teaches you, that like, you can have your protagonist be the most overpowered character, but in order for the narrative to move, you have to focus on the other characters, which is fine. But also, you know, Dante's also the coolest character in his own series, next to his brother. So you kind of have to have that balance of Dante and Lady in order for it to work. So it's almost like the anime could have done with like 1 or 2 less episodes, in my opinion, right? If you would have just had like 6, 7 episodes, it would have been perfect. But I feel like I guess they feel like there were some things that needed to be done in the 8 episodes. Who am I to say? I don't know. I'm not saying it needed to be shortened because I feel like the anime was too long. But I feel like the things I didn't like, if you kind of stripped them away, we would have had 1 less episode, which I felt like would have been perfect, right? So that's kind of it as far as things I didn't like. I forgot. I brought him up earlier. The black guy character, the blonde haired dude who was like, he survived the money attack and he comes back and he's like, spoiler, once again, he's like the bunny's mole because the bunny has his family hostage. I did not care for that character, not one single bit. I thought he was annoying the entire damn time. Like, I didn't like his voice acting. I didn't care for his design. I didn't care for all his bitching and moaning. I didn't understand his point. I didn't understand his motive. I mean, I get it. You're like, oh, he has my daughter captive. But bro, the whole point is that this bunny dude is gonna unleash hell. And his point was, well, what point is unleashing hell if I can't protect, my daughters? Bro, you think these demons are not gonna kill your daughters as well? Like, I guess that's the conflict. Like, what would you do? But I don't know, just the way he was written, I thought he was annoying as hell. Take away the narrative, he was annoying as hell. His voice was annoying as hell. He sounded like one of them jive turkey ass characters. Like I don't know if that was the voice direction or that was just how the voice actor voices. I don't know if that's just his natural voice, but he sounded like one of them. You a jive ass turkey ass character. Like that's how he sounded. That's how he came off on every scene. Like, damn, look at these damn demons, these jive ass demons. he sounded like someone just saw like a black sitcom. Like, he sounded like JJ from Good Times, like half the time he was on screen. Luckily, he doesn't take up a lot of screen time. He's not on the screen a lot, but every time he was on screen, I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, ugh, this motherfucker. Do I have any more cons? Oh, the music. I'm 50-50 on the music. I like the Limp Bizkit shit. I love the new metal, like all the new metal type beats, like everything that wasn't like original music. I thought it was great, right? Like the band music, beautiful. But like the remixes they did for some of the songs, honestly, I don't even know if it's some of the songs because I like the Devils Never Cry ending theme, like the. Oh yeah. The remix they tried to do for Bury the Light, I did not like that remix at all. Like, oh my god. Like, I heard a little bit of it that they did in the one scene, and then I think you hear like a longer version later. I was like, this does not sound good. This does not sound good. Nor did I like the version of Devil Trigger. I was like, oh my god, this does not sound good at all. I was like, I try to be open about it, right? I was like, maybe? Like, the first 15 seconds, I was like, maybe? Then the last 15 seconds, I was like, no, this does not sound good. And the problem is, both of those songs are 10 out of 10 songs originally. So you basically slow them down. You just have someone whine over them like, under the darkness that consumes me. And this low, raspy, like, voice where it's just like, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I wish I could say more positive things about those two songs, those two remixes. Like, a shout out to the artist. I'm sure y'all tried, but no. Y'all should just had Casey Edwards. I'm sure Casey Edwards might have part of it. He might be the vocalist for it. Fuck it. But it still didn't sound good. I'm sorry. And it's even worse when there is in-game remixes to, like, Devil Trigger. Like, there's, like, where you're, like, in Devil May Cry 5, when you're in the van, you have the jazzy remix. Move fast, baby, don't be slow. Take it down, reload. There is that slow, jazzy remix, which sounded 20 times better than the one they presented in this. And I think the worst part is that the mood didn't even fit. Like, because this show isn't this broody, dark, like, angsty show, but the songs, the remixes they picked for the show were, like, broody and angsty. So it's kind of like a tone differential that I didn't care for, right? So I didn't like parts of Dante. I didn't like parts of Lady. I didn't like parts of Enzo. I didn't like the entire character of that black nigga. I'm sorry. I didn't like the new remixes. So let's talk about the things let's talk about the story, right? Let's talk about the new story elements that they kind of added to the story. Let's talk about the general plot of the anime. The plot of the show is you have this bunny demon, and he has heard about the Legend of Sparta because he knows about the Legend of Sparta because he's from Hell. And his whole mission is he wants to break down the barrier that separates Hell and the human realm that the legendary demon knight Sparta created. In order to do that, he needs the two amulets of Dante and Virgil. He needs the sword of Sparta, and he needs a drop of Dante and Virgil's blood to trigger it, right? So that's his whole mission. And that's the whole mission of the entire show. That one premise moves the plot forward. Like, if I get all those things, the demon realm will be free to invade the human realm. And so the government hears about it, and they go through the process of, like, they want the amulets and they want Dante. They want the ambulance because, the ambulance are too dangerous to just be out and about. And they want Dante because he's a powerful asset. So they send mercenaries to attack Dante. And steal his amulet. They take Dante. They take the amulet. Hijinks happens. It's just like, I'm already tired of explaining the story. It's just like, how can I say this? The plot wasn't bad, right? Like, because you had to have a plot, right? And it couldn't have been Devil May Cry 3 plot, right? So I like the world building, right? Because Devil May Cry as a series doesn't have a lot of world building, right? We're still in the game looking for new cutscenes that have their mom talking for more than 10 seconds, right? Like, the most we've seen of Dante and Virgil's mom is in Devil May Cry 5, where she actually talks more than 30 seconds when she's hiding Dante. Right? Because the only thing before there, she marries Sparta. I don't think we know how them niggas met yet, bro. It's been 20 years. We still don't know how Sparta and his wife, I think what name is Eve? I want to say it's Eve. Yes, Eva. We still don't even know how Eva and Sparta met, right? And that's in the video game. So they're exploring lore. And I liked the aspects where they show like a younger Dante and Virgil like fighting in the living room, right? Because you never even see that in the game. You never see that competitive nature between the two in the game. All you see is them as baby pictures. Baby pictures, and Dante, thought Virgil died. That is their general backstory. Virgil didn't die. Spoiler alert, right? And they've been beefing ever since. The point I was trying to make, right, is that Devil May Cry itself doesn't have a lot of world building because if you play the games, most of the games take place in one location, right? For example, Devil May Cry 1 takes place on an island. Devil May Cry 2, this is an isolated island. No one else is on this island but Dante, Demons, and Mundus, and Trish. Devil May Cry 2 takes place in a village, like a town. I don't know. I didn't play Devil May Cry 2. I know the story. I didn't finish it, right? Devil May Cry 3 takes place in a tower with 4 other humans in Dante. Devil May Cry 3, excuse me. Devil May Cry 4 takes place in a town, about the church and Nero and all that shit. And Devil May Cry 5 takes place on Nero's journey through like the tree, right? And in none of those stories is there a general world building outside of those locations, right? The most world building I can recall that has anything to do with like storytelling and backstory is that you might get like in 5, I think the character's name is Morris. Please excuse me if I'm wrong. I'm literally off the dome right now. I haven't played Devil May Cry 5 in a minute. As Nero, you get a letter from Morris about Dante when he was like, Dante used to have the alias Tony Redgrave or something like that. He would do missions for me and something like that. That's the only world building you kind of get as far as like backstory. But there is no general world outside of where you're playing in Devil May Cry. You don't know what's the world reaction to the devils. You don't know how they feel about them. You don't know if they still see them every so often. You don't know if there's ever other devil hunters other than like maybe the chick from Devil May Cry 2. Like, as far as you know, there's only 4 devil hunters, and that's Dante, Nero, Lady, Trish, and like I said, the other girl. Right, it starts with an L. I can't remember. I don't want to butcher her name right now. That's it. Whereas in the anime, you actually see that like there is a league of devil hunters. Like there are multiple capable people that actually take this job. Some that have worked with Dante in the past. So the anime does try world building, and they don't even have world building in the devil world, in my opinion, in the games, which I always didn't like as well. Like, cause that's the story for the games, but I don't like how the games don't have world building. Right? They should have more world building, and that's almost like the cookie crumb, the breadcrumb that the games try to give you. It's like, ooh, there's some world building here. Ooh, I'm gonna tell you more about it. Nope, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna tell you. Wait till Devil May Cry 6. The anime does try to build a broader sense of the world that Devil May Cry is, right? You have the government, you have, devil hunters, you have the devil world, you have the structure of the devil world, you have to see, the lower scale of devils. So I think that's interesting, right? But it's not perfect, right? It is not perfect in my opinion. One thing I don't like is it almost leans too heavy on trying to make the devils sympathetic, right? Because it's trying to, so a lot of the show, a lot is very heavy-handed. Not to say it's bad, but it's very heavy-handed reference to America's war on like Middle Eastern countries, right? It's like you have this giant paramilitary, country government that's like has these plans to eradicate these people, and then they also got plans to invade their world, right? Very heavy-handed, right? And then you have the devils who, there are some big bad devils, but you also got some refugee devils that just want to take care of their families, and they're so nice and loving that they want her to fly. Which is something you quite never see in Devil May Cry. If you see a devil in Devil May Cry, either you're playing as him or he wants to kill you. No in between. Not a single in between to be seen. And it's kind of like you gotta pick a side. Do you like it or do you hate it? And it's like, while I say you gotta pick a side, but I'm kind of in the middle, right? Because it's like, I did see someone take about it kind of takes away ladies' motivation a bit if you do already see devils that are kind, right? Where it's just like, you never see that in Devil May Cry. So it was a revelation when Lady runs into Dante and be like, oh wow, there's devils that don't actually just want to eat me and just feast on my corpse and aren't just horrid abominations. Where in the anime, it's just like, you see that she goes on a mission where she sees there are devil refugees with families and children and shit. So it's kind of like, why didn't she have that? And she felt that way later, where she does, that's a whole character arc where she's like, oh man, maybe the devils weren't bad after all. Maybe there are some good ones. But you see, there is a backstory where she sees there is refugees. There are devil refugees. So why didn't she have that feeling earlier? I mean, you could say, no, Dante maybe triggered it. Haha, devil triggered it. So you don't see, it almost does the opposite of the world building, right? Where the game, it shows the devil world as nothing but savage ass monsters that just kill everything in their wake. Whereas the anime just tries to show it as low level devils that just be chilling, right? You don't see the monstrosity of the devil world other than it's hard to breathe, right? It's a toxic environment that war has ravished. They just left the lower level demons in a state of suffering. And that's all you see. Right, they try to show you like the bigger monsters, but they only show you from the scale of the smaller, more humanoid devils. And I get what they're trying to go for. I understand the parallel. Don't you worry. I understand the parallel between, the refugees in the Middle Eastern countries and America's war on them and the propaganda. But I don't know if it really lands for me, to be honest. Like, not. Because you do feel empathy for those lower level demons. You do, like, humanize them, right? But as a story, I just don't know if it's that interesting, right? I don't know if what it does for the characters really hit. I don't know if it improves any of the characters, right? I think it actually makes Lady worse by the end of the season. And, you can say there's going to be a season 2. Hopefully, maybe. I hope there's a season 2. But if there isn't, then Lady just looks like a dickhead. Like, all the characters look like dickheads except for like Dante. Like, the government looks like dickheads, where I guess is the purpose. So it becomes like this whole, America's this Christian military nation, which it very well is. Let's be so real here. So it's heavy. It's super heavy referential on like the 2000s war in Afghanistan and along those lines. Which you can tell this anime is supposed to be based on like 2000s like culture, right? The new metal, the war on terror. It's supposed to take place in that time. I get it, but I don't know if that kind of world building kind of worked on me. Like, I don't know. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you showed that there are devils other than the ones that just kind of want to feast on people's internal organs. But I feel like they should have balanced it by showing the devil world that we kind of know, right? The Mundus army, the generals, the savages, right? All you showed is kind of like the villagers, and it's kind of like, well, right? I think you try to lean too heavy on like, oh, they're the bad guys, without showing the fact that like there are devils that if they cross over, they will feast on everybody's body, and like there are world scale devils that are just super evil and like outrageously powerful. Like, I don't know if you really show that enough, right? It's just, like, I get it. I get what they're going for, but I just don't know if it personally hit for me. And that's a personal thing. It might hit for someone else. But I don't think it was awful. I don't think it ruined the anime. It is heavy-handed. It's like, we get it. But I don't know. But at the same time, I love the vice president character. I thought the vice president character was amazing. I thought, like I said, Kevin Conroy did an amazing job voicing him. You could tell that he really believes in what he believes. He believes that, God will save him, and God has a purpose for him, and God will smite down the devils, and God and God and God in America, and God in America, America and God. Like, you truly believe that he believes all the things that he's saying, right? So he's a great villain in that way, or antagonist in that way. But it's just like, I don't know. I think, like, let's talk about the last scene for a second. The last scene I thought was kind of a little too, like, he opens the portal and they're like, time for operation and whatever. And you see the jets flying in and they start bombing the demon world. They send the missiles in. They got troops on the ground. They taking selfies. They planting the flag in the demon realm. And to me, that takes away the danger of the demon realm, in my opinion. Because the whole premise of the show was that, like, if the devil realm opens, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, the humans will going to be able to do about it. But you're saying the humans on the opposite end can just walk in there and basically take over their block? So was it really a danger? Like, if humans can go in there on our own accord and go in there and basically take over and, start building shit and build armies and plant a flag and basically, cut a jig on their ground, what was the real danger? Because you could have just did the same shit over here. Obviously, you could say, like, oh, well, they took over a small block. They took over villages, some lower level demons, nothing too crazy. But at the same time, you're just making the demon realm look bitch made. Whereas the demon realm has never looked bitch made before. Like, because you see what a demon realm invasion looks like in Devil May Cry 5, where the military is getting absolutely wiped out. Like, soldiers are using their guns, but the bullets ain't working. That's another thing I want to talk about in a minute, where, like, the anime has a magical bullet that now disintegrates and blows up the devils. Like, okay, cool, that's fine. I guess you gotta have some MacGuffin that gives the human character something to do. But, in the game, they have, regular bullets, and these bullets ain't doing shit. They can kill the bugs, but the big demons, they ain't doing jack shit. Whereas, like, you literally see the soldiers running there and just take over their block. So now you just got the demons looking bitch, man. Like I said, you can have, I guess you could be like, well, that's just the smaller devils, but it still takes away the general threat. I guess the message they're going for is that the humans were the bad guys all along. Like, is that, I feel like that's the message they're really trying to send. Like, hell might be hell, but what's worse than hell? America. Like, like, that feels like what they were going for there. And I'm just like, I don't know. You know what the last scene of the last episode reminds me of? Have you ever watched the anime Gate? Long story short, Gate is an anime where these gates open up in the human realm that connect to this old, ancient, medieval, like, society that has, like, dragons. But, it's like, for the most part, it just has soldiers with spears and swords, right? Swords and shields. In the first episode, they invade, like, Japan, and they kill a lot of people, right? But then the Japan military goes over the other side, like, years later, and this never an issue, but they got guns, and the guns is just going through the shields, and they're just killing the dragons. They bombing everything. They basically taking over their block. They get AK-47s versus spears, and it's like not even a competition. So it's basically an anime about the Japanese military basically rubbing his nuts on ancient Roman medieval societies, and also like the other like countries, like, oh yeah, look how much better the Japanese military is over the American military. We're so smart and clever. I love Gate, but it reminds me just like that anime. It reminds me of a moment from Gate where it's just like, yeah, the American government's gonna walk into hell and we're gonna take out the devil, nigga. We're just gonna rub our American balls. And they really put it on the nose. They really like, yeah, on the fucking like on the nose. Like on the nose when they play like when they play American Idiot by Green Day. It was just like, we get it. War on Terror, 2000s, George Bush, America, bad. I feel like you could tell that message without still being like, the devil world's a bunch of pussies. So now you end it with Virgil freeing these people from prison. It's like, so is Mundus now, is Virgil not like a revolutionary? Is he gonna be like, yes, demons, follow me, I shall free you? Is he gonna be like, is it gonna be like Megatron? type beat. Like, I will free you from your bondage of the earthling, the humans, their prisons. They cannot best us. Grab arms. We will do what needs to be done. Like, I don't know. I feel like you would have been better off if the devil world was like this threat you just can't overcome. That's why you need to make sure they don't come over. Like, I wish you would have shown a scene where like they go over there and like their hubris is their downfall, right? Like the hubris that they think they can just go in the devil world and do what they want to do is an issue, right? They go over there with their technology, and they're gonna run shit, but then the next scene you see like the humans are slaughtered and now they're captive, and the devil and Mundus has their technology, and now Mundus is like, oh yeah, I got something for the ass. I thought that would have been a way more interesting like setup if you say, oh, Mundus now has, you know, American soldiers. He's now taking the Americans, you know, captive. He's now plotting his own attack on the human realm, opposed to, you know, Virgil being a revolutionary freeing niggas from prison. Like, I don't think that's interesting. I love Virgil, but I don't think him like dimensioning slashes through some soldiers is that interesting. What was something I wanted to talk about? It totally slipped my mind. I meant to mention it earlier. What was it? I don't know. God damn, I wish I would have said it when I thought it. I am really thinking long and hard about what it was that I was trying to say. Oh, I think one thing about the series I thought was interesting was that they basically, this is the weakest you really ever see Dante ever. And I get it because he's like he's not the player character this time, but like this is like the weakest you see Dante ever. Like, he is constantly getting bitched low key. Like, he beats the humans, but like Lady bamboozled and beat his ass every single time, like with some type of high tech trickery. Like, she constantly got the jump on that man. And it ends with him, like, in captive, like, being cryo-froze. Like, oh, and like I was saying earlier, this city, like, it makes Lady look bad because you have this aspect where it's like she's supposed to change, right? There was a scene where she goes to confront the bunny man in his little bunny building, which, spoiler, was full of refugees from the devil world. And when she discovers that, she tells her backup squad, because, you know, the squad she came in with, they all got wiped out when they walked in there. She tells the reinforcements, you're like, yo, free everybody. You know, these people are innocent. They need to go home. Let's get them somewhere safe. And when she turns her back, the vice president's like, what the hell are y'all doing? Kill all these demons. Y'all are bugging, bro. What? Fuck that noise. Kill them. And so they kill him, right? But I don't know if that ever gets her to her point. She never acknowledges it. I don't know if she ever discovers it. But by the end of the series, she's still doing the same shit she was doing at the beginning of the season. Like, she still, like, is a fool for this, like, Darkcom, even though she knows that Darkcom doesn't give a fuck about her troops. Like, the vice president literally says, like, I don't give a fuck about no one, bro. It's me, God. That's it, bro. Me, God, America. Ha! Like that's it. Like, anybody else is a casualty that is affordable. So I feel like that kind of just makes Lady just like look like unlikable, and that sucks that there's a possibility of Lady looking unlikable. Because if you play the game, Lady is so likable. She is like Dante's homie. She is like Nero's auntie in a way, where she is like, you know, she's like the older lady that's experienced, that's cool as hell, that goes on these missions. She's chill. But in this one, she is like uptight. She is like, you know, God bless America. She is like constantly just foaming over her own morals. Where Lady was pretty strict on her morals. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting at this point, but I don't know. I just don't like the way they concluded like her arc in this season. And like you said, there could be a season 2, but what if there isn't a season 2? Then we just gotta deal with it. I also want to mention, I probably should mention this earlier, but I do like this dude's work. Like Adi Shankar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. You know, he did the Castlevania's anime, as he was the showrunner and executive producer. He was executive producer of Nocturne, and he was a creator showrunner of Captain Laser. I like his work, right? I like all his previous work as far as like those 3 shows, so I don't have a problem with him, like as far as a creator. But I know, Castlevania players, they hate Castlevania anime, or they're just super split on it. Where it's just like, this is not like the Castlevania games. This character is not like that character. This character is not like that character. And I guess Devil May Cry fans will kind of discover that for themselves. And it's like, I get it halfway, right? Like, if you're not a Devil May Cry fan, you probably have no frame of reference for any of the things I'm saying as far as like referencing the games and how it should be. And at the same time, you're probably like, well, I like what I saw, or it was cool with me. But as a fan, you're like, eh. So I get it from a Devil May Cry fan perspective, and I get it from being a person that's just like, it's just a show. So it's kind of a hard conversation to really have, right? Because there are some things that are different, but at the same time, the game doesn't really give you a lot to work with as far as what Dante would say at every given moment, right? It's not like a Batman where Batman has 80 years of comics and media and movies and comics and shows to go off on. So, every interaction, there's a Batman interaction that has happened 30 times just like it, right? Where Dante doesn't have that privilege. Dante hasn't been in thousands of games, thousands of shows, thousands of comics, right? So, you kind of have to take that risk and be like, well, I think Dante would say that. So, I think Lady would do that. Also, another personal thing. I did not like Lady's outfit in this series. I was just waiting. For her to pull out the skirt, bro. Like, the Devil May Cry 3 outfit. You see her Devil May Cry 4 outfit, I think, for a second. During her flashback when she first walks into the Dark Common building. But I don't like that little Power Ranger-ass outfit. It looked cool on some of the characters. Like, it looked cool on, like, the ninja girls who had, like, the mask, and the black guy who had also, like, a mask. But it just makes them look like a bunch of, like, dorky-ass Captain Commandos. And there's a lot of Capcom references, so if it was a Captain Commando reference, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you see, like, Ken, you see that Street Fighter, you see that Mega Man. There's, like, a Raccoon City reference. What is there to say? I'm trying to think about what I was trying to think about earlier. I know that's redundant. God, I wish I would have said it at the moment. I didn't want to cut off my original point. I might have already said it. I'm just drawing a blank. But yeah, I don't know. They made the Devil World look like bitches, and I ain't really care for that. It reminds me of like Ant-Man, where it's just like you hype up Kang. Oh, I remember. I fucking remember. Oh, I remember. Oh, this shit bothered me to no fucking end at the end of the episode. At the last episode, this shit bothered the hell out of me, and I don't get it. They don't explain why it was that way. Thank Christ I remember, because if I would have ended this video without saying this and getting this off my chest, I would have been pissed. So, like I said, the whole plot of the show is the bunny needed the Sword of Sparta, he needed the two amulets put together to make one, and he needed a drop of blood from both Dante and Virgil on the amulets to trigger the sword to erase the barrier that separates the two realms. Boom. Okay, spoiler, it happens, right? The bunny activates everything, true form Sparta's out, he gets the blood, he has the amulets, the barrier is broken, the demons are here. It is showtime, baby. Woo! But, obviously, because, the good guy has to win, Dante puts a kaput to it. But, before that happens, you see the demons are invading. The demons are finna attack people, or they're already attacking people, or the humans can see them. Like the lights are on, baby. Demons are invading. They're big. They're here. They're coming. Why? As soon as Dante takes the amulet out the sword, the demons disappear. That's not how that shit is supposed to work. Alright, that's not how they explained it work. They explained that once the demons are here, it is over. Like, they explained it as a portal. They explained that there's a portal that the demons are coming through, and only the smaller demons can get through them for some reason, because the barrier is that strong. So smaller demons, like humanoid demons, or smaller elite kind of general demons can fit through, but the big monster ass demons, they can't get through. Why? As soon as Dante takes the amulet out of the sword and the barrier is back up, the demons disappear. What? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. If the demons are already here, they're here. Like, you shut the portal and more demons can't get in. That would make sense, right? You shut the demons. You open up the portal again. You open up the barrier again, right? You build the wall again, and say it's the realms are now separated again because I took away the amulet. I can believe that, right? I can. You reactivate it, whatever. I can believe that, but I don't believe. I would not believe. I don't understand how reactivating it basically vaporizes the demons that are already here. That doesn't make sense, and it's not explained. Like, you literally see a gigantic demon finna attack the woman and the baby you see from episode 1. And before it attacks her, Dante takes out the amulet and they literally just turn to dust. What? Where did they go? What happened? Explain it. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That is not how any of it was explained. And the show's just like, well, like no one talks about it. No one discusses it. All the demons just disappear. What do you mean they disappear? Where did they go? Did they go back? But that's not how. They're not teleporting. It's not teleportation. It's not like the devil world is casting a shadow over the human world. It's literally two parallel universes, and there's a portal between them. There's a walkway. So if I cross the walkway and I'm here, why, when the wall goes back up again, I'm back here again? That doesn't make sense. It's a wall, not a dome. From how it was explained, that shit bothered the fuck out of me, bro. I don't understand. And they do nothing to alleviate it. They do nothing to alleviate that concern, right? Because immediately after is when you see the USA montage, like Team America, go team, like team, like that's immediately afterwards. You see the montage, the Green Day montage. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words at this point. Like, that shit, oh my god, that didn't make no sense, bro. Like, I think I hated that more than I hated the American invasion. Because it's like, the bunny won. He got what he wanted. The portal's open. There are demons. So I thought it would have been interesting. It would be like, okay, the portal's back up, but the demons that was able to get here fast enough, we gotta deal with those. Like, that needs to be our focus. Like, people are dying across the world. So Dante needs to go across the world taking care of these demons that was opened up because he wasn't fast enough to take care of, the business he needed to take care of. But at the same time, while that's happening, America has decided they need to focus their aspirations in the demon realm. So it's like a two-pronged situation where it's like you're showing the corruption of America because they want to invade the demon world while their own citizens are being attacked by the devils that was already here, right? So instead of protecting their citizens, they're invading a foreign country, which is the thing that they wanted to press heavy on anyway. That America is just this ravenous, unholy country that uses religion as a crux to carry out its violence, right? You could have used it right there. You could have used their hypocrisy right there. That they don't care about their citizens. They care about colonization. They care about conquer. They care about conquest. You could have used it right there. That they cared more about the conquest of the demon realm than taking care of the problems at home. It's right there. It was a slam dunk. Just saying it out loud. It was a bloody slam. Vince Carter arm through the rim dunk. Where did the demons go? Where did they go? What happened to them? Why did the barrier vaporize them? That doesn't make sense. Nothing they explain about anything. And bro, they spend episodes. Explaining every episode about what this amulet does. Every episode is about this bloody goddamn fucking amulet. So you're telling me, in all the explanations, all the scientific doohickeys that you use to explore and talk about this amulet and show its effect, and the doohickeys and the graphs and the scales, none of them explain that if you open the portal and close the portal, everything that happened in between is just gone? What? Hell no, I don't believe it. That makes me so angry to say it out loud now. Oh my god. I did not see. I was so pissed off watching that, but man, saying it out loud, I'm just so angry, bro. Oh man. Oh, I think that might be the worst thing about the series. I think that one aspect of them demons disappearing, like, maybe, bro, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I missed something. But I'm telling you, as far as I know, nothing they said can explain why Dante taking the amulet out sent the demons that was already here away. Because that's not how they explain how the barrier or the wall worked. They explain it as a wall. Like, whew, it's a wall, and then there's like portals that can open up, and the bunny uses his device to expand those portals slightly so they last longer, which allows refugees and other people to slip in. That makes sense. But I just don't get it. So, but I mean, like, are you telling me that if the bunny would have won, like, his master plan, are you telling me that during the monster invasion that this should have been going on for 10 years and someone would have just like took the amulet out the sword at any given time, all the demons would have gone back? Are we supposed to believe that's how that would have worked? Like, I don't know, man. I simply, I don't like that. That's dumb. Like, they kind of, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, you could have had like a berserk situation, right? You could have had like a eclipse situation where now you see Dante. Like, you could, this could have been perfect. Chat, I don't even have a chat right now, but chat, this could have been perfect. Like, you could have seen Dante become the Dante he becomes, because now he's really in his bag, right? Before he was fighting some lower level devils that's just like, some small fries, but now he's going around the world. He's taking these devils out. He's getting more and more pay. He's really making a legend for himself. He's collecting the weapons, right? And you do like a time skip, and you see what, like, the expansion of Darkcom and what they've done to the devil realm and what they're doing over here and how they've manipulated devils for their own use, and how they're slowly losing their way. Instead, nope, we got Dante on ice, we have the amulets gone, and we have America and the devil world just doing what? Just building a 51st fucking state. Like, I don't know. It's like, did they not think of that? Like, do they not want to deal with the ramifications of? There's no reason not to do it. There is no like, you can literally say, if you don't want to say, oh well, we have to explain like the big devils coming through, bro. You can just say, listen, did you not want to kill innocent people? Like, is that the thing? You don't want to see the mom and her baby die? Is that what we're saying? Like, all the people we fucking killed in this anime so far. You don't kill innocent. Now we don't want to kill innocent people. Like you could easily have said, like, okay, the barrier was only open for like 2 minutes, luckily. So while some big demons got in, none of the big, world eaters got in. Thank Christ, But, there has been changes to the environment now. Now the world has to adjust to these devil presences. And you see how the demons, start manipulating Earth. And at the same time, you see how the humans start manipulating the devil realm. You see how they start transforming each other, slowly over time without the portal still being open. But no. We took the amulet. We took the blood amulet out the sword. And now all the devils dust. Oh my god, how did they fumble the fucking ball like that? Chat. I don't get it. Oh my god. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I remembered this, but I'm so pissed that I remembered it, bro. Oh my god. Someone's gotta explain that. Like, people were saying that they thought the ending was bad. After, like, I thought it was not good because of the heavy-handed, Green Day scene, America, boots on the ground, just wiping out devils because making the devils look like a bunch of bitches and making the whole plot look like, well, why was he even scared to begin with? But if we got, $7 trillion worth of bullets to shoot at these niggas. But now it looks even more ridiculous because of the whole barrier situation. Like, where did they go? Why did the barrier work like that? Oh my god. Alright, is there anything else? I don't know. Final review. I like the series. I still like it. As much as I'm pissed off thinking about this goddamn barrier. But, man. Like, it's definitely not perfect. And then that final line from Virgil, like, I am the storm. Like, come on now. Let's be so fucking... I mean, Virgil's also a dork. So, Virgil saying that maybe it would have been a thing. I mean, Virgil's lame as hell as well. Both Dante and Virgil, they're the coolest people ever, but they're both dorks, right? That's their thing. This nigga just reads poetry all day. He's a bloody nerd. What would I give this series? I don't know. Probably a 7.5. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing ever created on Earth. Like a lot of Devil May Cry fans are like kind of parroting. That's not my review. Nah, I don't feel that way, right? Like as far, all in all, I think it's pretty accurate to the characters. There, like I said, there's some lines I would have taken out. I don't like all the superhero referential shit, like Dante constantly reference himself as a superhero, not a superhero. I didn't really like that. I think some of the fight scenes could have been better, but at the same time, they weren't bad. I feel like it was some padding in there. Oh, I thought the backstory was amazing. Episode 6, where they show like the parallel between Lady's backstory and the Bunny's backstory. I thought that was probably the best episode of the season so far, of the show so far. I thought the art style changed when he stepped into the devil world. The kind of reference that, he's like Alice in Wonderland. I thought it was beautiful. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great decision. That's probably the best episode. Like I said, it's probably the best episode. But man, that ending, I don't know. Like, I hope they make a season 2, just so not so they can just fix the mistakes they've already made, but kind of explore what they already set up. I just want them to stick the landing. To be honest, like, make a season 2 so you can stick the landing. Like, I don't have a doubt they're gonna make a season 2. I think Netflix really likes this dude. And I can't imagine him being... I can't imagine the show being so negatively reviewed, both viewer and critically, that it doesn't get a season 2. It all depends on how expensive the show was to make, but they're not making Castlevanias right now, so I'm sure they can just be like, hey, we just gonna have, Castlevania people do their shit. It really depends. He clearly is like a fan, and it's clearly his show, so I can't imagine him being like, okay, I'm done. And he's already set up season 2, so I think it's definitely gonna be a season 2. But man, there's definitely some changes that need to be made, and I hope he does make them. Like, I don't need Dante to be this stoic. I don't need Devil May Cry 2 Dante. I don't need brooding Devil May Cry Dante who is just everything serious. There's not a bit of sunshine outside. There's no happy endings. Fuck bunnies. Fuck butterflies. I hate all joy in life. I just sit here and brood and dress like a vampire and shoot my guns up and down. Like, I don't need that from Dante. I'm sorry. I don't need it. I don't want it. But like, just a little bit more serious. Just a little less of the MCU jokes. I know that's a broad brush that people like to use. Be like, you think all jokes are MCU jokes? No, I don't. And the ones I did say I like some of the jokes, but the self-referential lines of dialogue, like the Sparta son, like he's Sparta son, I'm Sparta son, they're Sparta son. I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, just cut that out. Just stop it. Like, stop with the over exposition. The self-exposition, we don't need it. I don't like it. I'm sure Enzo's still alive. I'm thinking about Enzo because he did a lot. Stop having Lady curse as much. Just bring that back in. She doesn't need to tell a joke. Bro, I swear she told more jokes than Dante. She was constantly getting a fucking riff off. Like, she was getting paid per joke. She must have been her bonus. We'll give you a Camaro if you tell more jokes. Like that what it felt like she was doing. Like she didn't need to be that much of a hard ass, in my opinion. Kind of soften Lady up. I don't need her to be a prince. Like I don't need Lady's not a princess character. She is a badass, right? But she doesn't need to be a hard ass. If you know what I'm saying, like it's kind of hard for me to really describe what I'm saying. But like if you get it, you get it, right? Like she doesn't need to be what she was here. Like just tone it down like 20%. Other than that, I wonder what they're gonna do with the vice president character. I wonder if they obviously had to change voice actors because, like I said, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. Like I said, fantastic voice acting this season as far as him. Please let that black character be dead. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. I'm gonna call that nigga Tan, bro. I don't know. Kill that blonde nigga. Kill him. Kill his daughters if you had to, bro. I don't want him on screen ever. Just kill him off screen, bro. Tell him he had to go to another planet. Say that nigga can't swim. The gunshot killed him. He got infected. He got the gout, hepatitis. I don't know, bro. Tuberculosis. Kill that nigga. Don't have him on my screen again. Anything else? No, I think that kind of covers the basis. Overall, I'll probably give it a 7.5. I think I already said that, but yeah. Go watch it if you're a fan of the series. If you're not a fan of the series, still go watch it because you probably might enjoy it more. Let me know what y'all think. I hope you enjoyed this review / rant. I'm sorry this has been very unstructured, very like all over the place. But man, oh my god, as soon as I press stop recording, that goddamn ambulance is gonna piss me off again. If you enjoyed this review, please let me know. I'll do more on different series. Like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter and social media, Saki Miyazaki. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hope there's more. And I'm out of here. Bye!